Welcome to Sarah Philosophy, a space for calm thoughts, deeper meaning, and timeless lessons for living a more peaceful life. What if the life you think you are late for was never your life in the first place? You look around and it seems like everyone is moving ahead. Someone your age has a successful career. Someone else is traveling the world. Someone is getting married, buying a home, building a business, or achieving the things you thought you would have achieved by now. And somewhere inside, a quiet thought appears. I'm behind. But behind whom? And according to whose timeline? You were never given a universal schedule for life. There is no clock in the sky telling you that by a certain age, you must have everything figured out. Yet you live as if there is. You compare your ordinary Tuesday with someone else's greatest achievement. You compare your unfinished story with a chapter from someone else's life. And then you wonder why you feel like you are losing. The truth is, you are not behind. You are simply living a life that cannot be measured by someone else's timeline. Think about nature. A tree does not look at another tree and panic because it grew taller first. A river does not become anxious because another river reached the ocean before it. A flower does not apologize because it bloomed later than another flower. Everything has its own rhythm. And somehow, you forgot that you are part of nature too. You have your own rhythm. There are seasons in your life when you grow quickly. There are seasons when you feel stuck. There are seasons when you build. There are seasons when you lose. And there are seasons when almost nothing seems to happen. But sometimes what looks like nothing happening is actually preparation. A seed underground may look completely still, but beneath the surface, something is changing. You may be in a similar season. Maybe you are learning how to understand yourself. Maybe you are recovering from mistakes. Maybe you are discovering what you actually want instead of what other people told you to want. Maybe you are simply trying to become comfortable with who you are. That is not wasted time. That is life. The Stoics understood something important about this. You cannot control the pace at which other people live. You cannot control when opportunities arrive. You cannot control how quickly someone else succeeds. But you can control what you do with the day in front of you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to focus on the work immediately before him, not the entire future, not everyone else's progress, just the present moment. And perhaps that is what you need too. Instead of asking, why am I not there yet? Ask yourself, what can I do with where I am right now? That question changes everything. Because the moment you stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline, you get your attention back. You stop chasing an imaginary finish line. You begin noticing the life that is already happening. The morning light, a quiet conversation, a skill you are slowly developing, a mistake that taught you something, a difficult season that made you wiser. These things rarely look impressive from the outside, but they're often the things that create a meaningful life. The modern world constantly tells you that you should be further ahead, more successful, more productive, more attractive, more accomplished, more experienced. But there's always another level. You reach one goal, and immediately another appears. You achieve something, and someone else has achieved more. You finally feel proud of yourself, and then comparison quietly takes that pride away. If you build your happiness around being ahead, you will never feel safe, because there will always be someone ahead of you. But if you build your life around becoming more present, more thoughtful, more capable, and more aligned with what matters to you, the competition disappears. You no longer need to win someone else's race. You only need to walk your own path. Maybe your 20s are not supposed to look perfect. Maybe your 30s are not a deadline. Maybe your 40s are not too late. Maybe your life cannot be understood by a number. Some people find their purpose early. Others discover it after years of confusion. Some people know exactly what they want. Others need to try different paths before they understand themselves. Neither journey is automatically better. Your path may be slower because you are learning lessons that cannot be rushed. And that is okay. There's a Japanese idea called wabi-sabi, the appreciation of things that are imperfect, unfinished, and constantly changing. Your life is unfinished. That does not mean your life is failing. It means your story is still being written. So stop treating the unfinished parts of yourself as evidence that something is wrong with you. You do not need to have everything figured out today. You do not need to become the person you imagine you should be overnight. You only need to take the next honest step. Read the book, learn the skill, make the apology, start again, rest when you need to rest. Walk away from what no longer fits. Begin something you have been afraid to begin. And most importantly, stop rushing simply because someone else appears to be moving faster. Your life is not a race against strangers. It is a relationship with yourself. One day, you may look back and realize that the period you thought was putting you behind was actually teaching you how to move in the right direction. The delay may have protected you. The failure may have redirected you. The loneliness may have taught you who you are. The uncertainty may have forced you to think for yourself. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not running out of time. You are here, and this moment is still part of your life. So breathe. Put down the imaginary stopwatch. Look at your own path and take the next step, not because everyone else is moving, but because you are ready to move. And remember this, you do not need to arrive at someone else's destination to know that you are making progress. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to begin again. You are allowed to become yourself at your own pace. You are not behind in life. You are living it. If this message gave you a moment of peace, subscribe to Sarah Philosophy and stay with us for more quiet ideas about philosophy, meaning happiness, and living with greater awareness. Like this video if you needed to hear these words today, and leave a comment with one thing you are choosing to stop rushing in your life. Maybe your comment will remind someone else that they are not behind either. Until the next thought, slow down, look within, and remember that your life does not need to look like anyone else's to be meaningful.